I can still feel the excitement that surged through me as I disembarked the plane in Bangkok. The atmosphere was warm and filled with the aroma of spices and the faint sounds of lively street markets. Armed with a backpack, a somewhat wrinkled map, and a mind brimming with dreams about the adventures ahead in Thailand, I was ready to explore. Little did I realize that this trip would impart lessons far beyond what any travel guide could offer. From surprising visa issues to the most delectable street food, each moment was an opportunity to learn. So, here are the 20 lessons I picked up during my travels. Before you go to Thailand, make sure you watch this video to avoid some unnecessary mistakes and make your journey a memorable one. My first lesson arrived quickly at immigration. I approached the desk, passport in hand, and discovered Thailand had revised its visa regulations. The good news for me and travelers from 65 nations, including the US, UK, and Australia, was that we could now benefit from a 45-day visa exemption if visiting before March 31st, 2024. It was a nice surprise, but I also found out that if you intend to remain longer, extensions are simple but require some preparation. Copies of your passport, visa stamp, passport photo, and proof of onward travel. And here's a piece of advice: don't delay. The immigration offices aren't exactly quick. Once I got settled in, my appetite took charge. The temptation of Thai street food was too strong to resist. For merely $1, I enjoyed a plate of pad Thai bursting with flavors, sweet, spicy, and tangy. The green curry comforted me and I became obsessed with mango sticky rice every night. I discovered that the night markets offered a wealth of delicious options. However, a piece of advice: although the food is fantastic, be wary of raw vegetables from street vendors. Believe me, Bangkok belly is one souvenir you'll want to avoid. In Chiang Mai, I opted to rent a scooter for about $6 per day. It felt like an ideal way to discover the area. The thrill of riding was invigorating until I got pulled over. Lacking an international driving permit, I was confronted with a substantial fine. I learned that Thai police are quite strict, particularly with tourists. Regarding the roads, rain and gravel are not ideal conditions for riding. After a small skid that resulted in a scraped knee, I realized why many travelers have unexplainable bandages. Securing a place to stay in Thailand was quite simple. Whether you're a budget traveler seeking a $10 hostel room, or in search of a luxurious beachfront resort ranging from $50 to $100, there are options available for all price ranges. I frequently utilize Booking.com and Agoda, narrowing my search by price and ratings to discover the ideal location. Visiting during the rainy season? Even better, there are significant discounts, and the reduced number of tourists results in a more personal experience. I planned to attend the full moon celebration in Koh Phangan. The actual scene was a kaleidoscope of neon lights, thumping music, and an exhilarating mood. I wish I had known though that lodgings fill up months in advance. For a room that was, to put it mildly, less than opulent, I ultimately paid 3 times as much. Furthermore, those notorious drink buckets are more robust than they appear. Take things slowly, protect your belongings, and wear shoes that will hold up over a night of dancing on the beach. I contemplated whether to go during the wet or dry season. It was a pleasant surprise that I had selected the rainy season, which runs from April to October. Indeed, there were occasional afternoon downpours, but these were usually a welcome diversion from the sun. The scenery was lush, the tourist attractions were less congested, and lodging costs were reduced. I received the impression that I was alone in several places in Thailand. A pleasant tuk-tuk driver in Bangkok gave me a city tour for an incredibly low fee one bright afternoon. I agreed eagerly. The trip swiftly veered off course to stop at expensive stores and marketplaces I hadn't intended to explore. I came to the conclusion that if something looks too good to be true, it most often is. I continued to be watchful after that, reading up on typical frauds and following my instincts. Purchasing a local SIM card changed everything. I got unlimited bandwidth for a month for around $15. Making hotel reservations, navigating strange neighborhoods, and keeping in contact with new acquaintances became second nature. It was also invaluable to be able to share my experiences in real time with my family back home. I had originally intended to begin in Bangkok and proceed south. However, I changed my plan after speaking with other passengers. I saved time and money by flying straight to the south, to Phuket, and worked my way north. I initially toured the beautiful islands, then I was engrossed in Bangkok's bustle, and lastly, I discovered peace in Chiang Mai's northern cities. Every location I went to felt like a brand new universe. I went snorkeling in Maya Bay's pristine waters on Koh Phi Phi. I was astounded by the limestone cliffs of Phang Nga Bay, which appeared to have been taken from a postcard. With its floating cabins and abundant animals, Khao Sok National Park provides a tranquil haven. In Chiang Mai, I saw historic temples and lively night markets before stopping by an ethical elephant sanctuary, which turned out to be the high point of my journey. The warmth and hospitality of the Thai people never ceased to amaze me during my trip. They made me feel welcome with their contagious grins and readiness to assist. I discovered that the culture had a strong emphasis on respect. Simple actions like being aware of local traditions and protecting my knees and shoulders when visiting temples were much appreciated. Travelers on a tight budget will love Thailand. I discovered that I could eat properly, get cozy lodging, and engage in a variety of activities for about $30 each day. I was able to stretch my budget and prolong my stay in the northern areas like Chiang Mai and Pai because they were even more reasonably priced. After making a few withdrawals, I discovered that high costs were depleting my funds. 220 baht for each transaction added quickly. I found that there were no fees associated with taking out cash at a bank counter. It took a little longer and required my passport, but the savings were substantial. It was easier than I thought to go about Thailand. Every city had local travel agencies which made reservations for trains, buses, and ferries easy. I used the Grab and Bolt apps for shorter journeys because they provided reasonable costs without bargaining, which reduced the tension of exploring. Thai 7-Elevens are unmatched, but I never imagined they would become my trip diet's mainstay. They were my go-to place for fast, inexpensive snacks and necessities, offering anything from delectable ham and cheese toasties to $1 coffees that helped beat the heat. My dream was to interact with elephants, but I discovered that not all places are friendly to these gentle giants. I decided to go to an ethical sanctuary where elephants are treated with respect and are allowed to wander freely. The fact that it was moral just added to the experience's humility and delight. I learned to be careful after a bad experience with some dubious street food. I started drinking just bottled water and avoided raw veggies. I learned that because ice is manufactured from purified water, it is typically safe. It turned out to be a wise decision to bring along some basic medications, such as Imodium, which helped me avoid discomfort later. My conversations were much enhanced by picking up a few simple Thai words. Simple pleasantries like Kob Kun, thank you, and Sawasdi, hello, were greeted with smiles and occasionally even astonishment. It was respectful and frequently resulted in more intimate, friendly interactions. Considering Thailand's tropical environment, it was imperative to pack light. It was essential to wear breathable apparel, and I was happy to pack a lightweight jacket in case of rain or chilly evenings. It was also crucial to remember to bring modest clothing when visiting temples. It was a good idea to leave some extra room in my suitcase because I was unable to resist the night market finds. Respecting regional traditions made my trip easier and more enjoyable. I learned not to touch people's heads because it's considered impolite, and I always took off my shoes when I entered temples or homes. Being aware of these customs demonstrated deference and was always valued by the community. Every culture has its own set of norms and customs, and Thailand is no different. Remember to remove your shoes before entering temples and homes, avoid pointing your feet at people or Buddha statues, and be mindful of your body language. When in doubt, observe and follow the lead of the locals. I became aware of how much Thailand had transformed me as my stay came to an end. The people, the culture, and the variety of experiences that challenged and pleased me at every turn were more important than the breathtaking scenery or the mouth-watering cuisine. I believe my tales will help you get ready for an amazing journey if you're thinking of visiting Thailand in 2025. Above all, appreciate every moment, be open to learning, and embrace the unexpected. Please feel free to share my experience if it was instructive to anyone who is considering a trip to Thailand. Additionally, I would be delighted to hear any questions or personal anecdotes you may have. If you like this video, then you should love the next one on your screen. I hope you travel safely and have an amazing time in Thailand.